Stalkers are the stuff of nightmares. They watch, they follow, and they refuse to leave you alone. The worst part? Sometimes they're closer than you think. Today, we're diving into 3 horrifying, true stalker stories that will make you question just how safe you really are. Stay with us until the end, because these stories are truly disturbing. The stranger in the parking lot. Mia had always been cautious. She never walked alone at night and always stayed aware of her surroundings. But one evening after work, she noticed something unsettling. As she walked to her car in the dimly lit parking garage, she felt someone watching her. She turned around but saw no one. Shrugging it off, she got into her car and locked the doors. As she started the engine, her headlights illuminated a figure standing just a few feet away. A man, dressed in dark clothing, was staring directly at her. Panicked, she put her car in reverse and sped out of the parking lot. She told herself it was a coincidence, maybe just another late-night worker. But that was only the beginning. The next day, she saw him again. He was across the street from her office, watching. Then, he appeared at her favorite coffee shop. Wherever she went, he wasn't far behind. She called the police, but without proof of a crime, there was little they could do. One evening, she arrived home to find her front door slightly ajar. She knew she had locked it. Heart pounding, she called a friend and waited outside until help arrived. Inside, nothing was missing, but something felt wrong. The police found no signs of forced entry, but Mia knew someone had been there. She installed cameras, changed her locks, and moved in with a friend. After a few weeks, the stalker disappeared, but the fear never left her. Months later, she received a chilling email from an unknown sender. "I miss seeing you every day." Her heart sank. He was still out there. She had to change her number, her email, and even move to another state. But no matter how far she went, the fear of being watched would never leave her. The notes in the window. Liam was a college student, living in a small apartment. Life was normal until the notes started appearing. It began with a simple piece of paper taped to his window. "I see you." At first he thought it was a prank, but then another note appeared a few nights later. "Nice shirt today." His blood ran cold. Whoever was leaving these notes was watching him closely. He checked his locks and even changed his curtains, but the notes kept coming. "Why do you close the blinds? I still see you." Terrified, Liam started staying with friends. One night, his roommate, Jason, decided to keep watch. At around 2 a.m., Jason saw movement outside. A dark figure was crouched near their window, pressing something against the glass. Jason yelled, and the figure ran. The police arrived and found dozens of notes hidden around the property, all written by the same person. They finally identified the stalker, a former classmate of Liam's who had become obsessed with him. He was arrested, but the thought of how long he had been lurking outside Liam's apartment left a lasting scar. The police later discovered an old journal in the stalker's possession. Inside, there were detailed records of Liam's daily activities, including what time he woke up, what he ate, and when he went to bed. The most disturbing part? Some entries dated back more than a year before Liam had even noticed the notes. The stalker had been watching him long before he ever made his presence known. Even though the stalker was caught, Liam never felt truly safe again. Every time he saw someone lingering outside, his mind immediately went back to those terrifying nights, wondering if someone new was watching. The man in the closet. Erin had always been a hopeful person, even in the face of adversity. When she moved into her new apartment, she saw it as a chance to rebuild her life. She had just escaped an unhealthy relationship, one that had drained her emotionally and mentally. This fresh start was supposed to be her new beginning, a place where she could finally feel safe. But almost immediately, unsettling things started happening. At first, it was small. She would misplace her keys, only to find them in a spot she was sure she hadn't left them. Her phone charger went missing, only to reappear in a different room. The strangest part was the occasional sound of floorboards creaking in the middle of the night, though she dismissed it as the old building settling. But deep inside, she had a gnawing feeling that something wasn't right. One evening, after a long day at work, Erin stepped out of the shower, exhausted. As she reached for her towel, her eyes caught something that made her blood run cold. Her closet door, which she always kept shut, was slightly open, just an inch. Her heart pounded. She was sure she had closed it earlier. Holding her breath, she walked toward it, every nerve in her body screaming for her to run. With a trembling hand, she yanked it open. Nothing, just her clothes hanging lifelessly, undisturbed. She shook her head, trying to convince herself she was just being paranoid. Maybe she had left it open by accident. She climbed into bed, wrapping herself tightly in the blanket, willing herself to sleep. But in the dead of night, something jolted her awake. A sound. Slow, deliberate breathing. It was coming from inside her closet, her stomach twisted with terror. She knew she wasn't imagining it. She lay frozen for what felt like an eternity, every second dragging out in suffocating fear. Summoning every ounce of courage, she reached for her phone and dialed 911 with shaking fingers. As soon as she hit the call button, she bolted out of her apartment, running into the hallway, gasping for air. The police arrived minutes later, but to Erin, it felt like a lifetime. When they searched her apartment, what they found sent shivers down her spine. Inside her closet, hidden behind her clothes, was a man, her ex-boyfriend. He had been living in the walls of her apartment for days, sneaking out only when she was gone. The officers found a sleeping bag, food wrappers, and most disturbingly, a collection of old photographs of her. Some of the pictures were from years ago, long before they had even met. He had been watching her, waiting. He was arrested, but the nightmare didn't end. Erin found herself unable to sleep without double-checking every lock. She constantly felt like she was being watched. Eventually, she decided to leave town, hoping a new city would bring her peace. But months later, the packages started arriving. Each one contained something she had thought was lost. An old bracelet, a childhood stuffed animal, even a letter in his handwriting. The police couldn't trace the sender. Was he back? Or had he sent someone else after her? The uncertainty gnawed at her. No matter how far she ran, she knew she could never truly escape the horror that had once lurked in her closet, and perhaps still did. And that's why you should always trust your instincts. Stalkers can be anyone. Strangers, classmates, even people you once trusted. If you ever feel like something isn't right, don't ignore it. Stay safe. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and let us know which story scared you the most. Until next time, stay alert.